If you haven't eaten elk, it is divine. It is the best combination of what we love about venison, just enough of a game hint to let you know that you're not eating farm-raised beef. The meat is more finely marbled, and I love the texture of it. There's a sweetness to the meat that's just absolutely incredible, and we happen to have a Rolls-Royce cut here. So this afternoon, we're making grilled wild elk chops, and I'm gonna serve them with wild boar bacon sauté with onions and apples and thyme, a rutabaga mash. You can use any root vegetable you like. This is a simple, elegant lunch or dinner that is really highlighting the elk. The first thing that I wanna do is start one of my side dishes here, simply because it takes the longest time, and that is my rutabaga mash. It is, in my opinion, the most underrated of all the root vegetables. As long as you remove the skin and this sort of thin green second skin that's inside there, you have a sweet root vegetable that has its own unique flavor. These take a little longer than a cubed potato, and because we're mashing this, you don't need to have them all look uniform. I have water boiling. Get some salt in there. Let's cook some rutabaga. So I'm gonna just put the lid on that. So one of the other stars of the show here is this beautiful wild boar bacon. The bellies of those animals are not as fat as commercial hogs. So you see there's a lean side and a fatty side. I'm gonna start with the fatty end. I don't think I need anything more. I know all of you are saying you can't have enough bacon, but let me tell you something, with a dish like this, you do want the other ingredients to be the stars. I'm gonna put my thyme right on the top of that. Some wild boar bacon is fattier than others. Look at that, it's just getting crispy right away. So I'm making the executive decision just to put a hint of oil in there. It will help render that. We'll still get that smoky fat from the wild boar bacon, but before this gets too crispy, I want to start to caramelize my onion pieces in that fat. And I'm going to add my apples. This little side dish is such a wonderful condiment to have with the elk. Apples and onions, something I also love with sausages. Look at those onions caramelizing in the bacon. This pan smells so good, I've forgotten that I'm actually going to be preparing meat. Okay, this is a little bit of cider vinegar. This is a spice that I developed with the Badia company. It's got mint and shallots and chilies, some dehydrated garlic. It's absolutely wonderful. I'm putting that in the vinegar, a little bit of salt, and a nice big dollop of Dijon mustard. I'm just trying to loosen the mustard. You don't want it too thick, you don't want it too watery, you want it to stick on the meat. We're gonna get a nice crust on it. I wanna make sure I cut perfectly through my chops. That is a stunning elk. That's as gorgeous as meat gets. All right. So I'm gonna keep cooking this with the thermal momentum from the pan itself. So I'm just gonna put this on the ground underneath my cauldron. That's gonna stay nice and warm there. We'll flash it on top of the coal when we're done. So all I wanna do is pile up some coals on one end of this. When you have meat, wild meat, it doesn't have any external fat. I'm not trimming any more of this off. I wanna make sure I get a really nice char. And because I'm using a marinade, I'm putting something wet onto it, and you can't brown in the presence of moisture. So I need a really, really, really hot fire. So I just take my fire tool and pull those coals over right there on my elk. Now, I have to tell you, this is a little bit of an honorific to my dad. So I always call this the Bob Zimmern sort of methodology, which is mustard on meat, which I really think is a wonderful combo. Now, what I'm doing is I'm just gonna rub a little bit of oil onto that rib chop. Just a nice technique to get some char on there. I'm going to flip it onto the mustard side, and then I'm gonna glaze the top with more of this mustard. And we've got some really nice heat here. And because these chops are about 1.5 inches thick, cooking them to medium rare to medium and then letting them rest so we have a beautiful pink is probably gonna take about 8 minutes aside, something like that. They're very, very dense. Remember, not a lot of fat, not a lot of moisture in there. It's real wild meat. Perfection. So when you're doing this kind of thing outside, I think these spider wands are absolutely vital because you don't want to have to reach over hot flame to take an entire pot of hot water and root vegetables that you're mashing. I love this. We have a very high butterfat content European yellow butter, fresh pepper, salt. You can use a little bit of milk or cream, whatever you like. And remember, rutabaga is not as starchy as a lot of other vegetables that you might do this with. So you're gonna have to work this a little bit. You do not want to overcook it and make your mashing easier. Because if you overcook it, it gets waterlogged. Looks perfect. Wow. So we put that on the edge there. Let's flip our meat and let's baste with our marinade. Now, I am going to turn these back around one more time to char some of that mustard, but mixed with the juices from the animal itself, when these come off the grill, it literally makes the sauce. And let's warm our apples and onions. Now we'll get some char on that bottom side. It'll take about 2 or 3 minutes. Then when we slice these chops, we have the delicious mustard vinegar sauce sort of built in with all of those juices. These are nice and warm. You can hear the onions. I mean, look at how perfect is this? All right. I mean, look at that. See what we have here? Char on both sides, that gorgeous mustard apple cider vinegar marinade. I mean, I wish you could smell this. This meat has to rest for 10 minutes, right? You don't want to take, I mean, super precious meat like elk, cut into it too soon, and all your tenderness and flavor just runs out on the cutting board, right? So we're just gonna let that sit there, let all of those juices return to the middle so that we have that delicious mouthfeel on this meat. I know, it's killing me too. You are the beneficiary of the magic of editing. I'm the one that actually has to sit here and wait the whole time. Don't be skimpy with the apples and the onions and the wild boar bacon. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna show you 2 ways that I very typically do it. The first is to just simply cut this in half and then turn one piece around and plate it. The other way to do it, and yes, I'm going to give this to my dog, is to do slices. Now, sometimes, you know, we've been eating all day or we have multiple courses of things, right? So maybe I'm splitting chops between 2 people, as heinous a sound as that is to some of you. that vinegar mustard sauce that has been created when you cut it and mix in the juices there. I'm not giving this to Luca. I'm gonna snack on it myself and see how this is. Oh my God. Yeah, food taken from the wild, maybe harvested yourself, maybe you've gotten it at a farm. Hey, maybe you just like watching me cook and you're gonna do this with pork chops. I endorse it. That subtle, peppery horseradish pop of the rutabaga mash, the smoky boar bacon saute with the sweetness of the apples and the caramelized onions and thyme. Very few combinations in my world are sort of perfect and necessary, but this recipe is gonna change your life.